Sunday morning, July 2nd, 2023. Calvin Castine in Moores, New York. Just on the curve as you enter from the east, in front of what used to be the old movie theater, now Trimax here. And this is not a lake or pond or river, it's a field, farmer's field, and as you can see, it's kind of flooded out there. So we got a message that there's some high water up this way, so we thought we were already thinking about doing it, so we decided to head west and see what the water situation is after overnight rains that came down quite hard at times. A message we got from Steve Hansen said the dam by end of East Street, high water here. I hope this old bridge is going to hold up. As you can see, the water is rushing underneath us. I'm not going to be brave enough to go out on that edge and check the sturdiness. This is showing west here. This is heading east. This is coming over the bridge on East Street. Morning. Hey, I think you're the fellow who sent me a message.
Yes, I did. How are you, Calvin?
Good, Steve. How you doing?
Very well.
This way here. What happened here?
This is from that heavy rainstorm we had last night. Quite a bit of water. It's the most I've seen.
Yeah.
I was just talking to a gentleman. He said he's seen it higher, but it was like 20 years ago.
Flood of '96, I'm sure. And,
yep.
And a few years back, maybe in 2011, I'm thinking they had a flood up in the Ellenburg Center area that might have came down this way eventually.
Yes, definitely.
So let's look this direction here, Steve. So,
yep.
Just talked to a lady who was out here. I don't know if this bridge can hold both of us here. I hope
definitely.
So.
Definitely.
She said she lost about $600 of stuff. She decorated her yard by the shore, and
oh wow,
about $600 of stuff went floating down the river. So,
jeez.
You know, she spent some, her spare money to get that fixed
definitely.
up and have it washed away. It's kind of disheartening. I looked down by the Twin Bridges. The water was high, but nothing rushing like this here.
Right. I know my brother who camps up in Blue Haven, he sent me some pictures this morning about 5:30, and he was quite high over there as well.
Yeah, I'm going to head that direction right now. I was thinking about it even before I got your message, and
yeah.
I can see that I would imagine up that way it might even be even higher. So I'll probably go up to Ranchside Camp there, and back in 2011, whatever year that was, Sam Trombley let us go through his camp yard. Of course, it's Randy Poyer that owns it now, but wanted to go through Blue Haven. No, they didn't want any record at all of the flooding they'd had. So I'm not even going to bother asking them.
Yeah, it's this is quite rapid there today, and I mean, even down below yesterday, I was just mowing the grass down below over here, and I took a walk down there, and it was almost up to my knees today, down below, just on the other side of that bush over there. It was just amazing to wake up this morning and see all this.
Yeah, it poured overnight. Personally, in my yard, the backyard's got some water. Front yard hardly, don't even know it rained. It drained off pretty good there, but
definitely.
I guess it happened to be exactly where you were. But my brother Sam said 2.5 inches of rain. So
yes, that's for sure.
That's in Champlain. So it could have gotten even more up as we head toward the west here, because
I did see two of the fire department here from Moores. They were coming to pick up some pumping equipment, and they said they were heading over towards westward because they said it got hit a lot harder over that way. So I'm sure they'll have their hands pretty full today.
Yeah, nice way to spend the 4th of July weekend out.
Definitely.
Instead of enjoying themselves with their families, they'll be out helping the community.
That's one of the perks that we have a great fire department here in Moores, and they're always there to help and support us in every which way.
Well, appreciate you notifying us that this was going on. As I said, I was thinking of wandering out anyway, but that definitely pushed me over the edge to make that decision.
Oh, definitely. I was glad I was able to send them off to you. I know you're a big part of our community, and we're grateful for you and everything you do, and keeping us informed of local events. And I figured, this is something we hadn't seen here in quite a few years, and bringing up to speed.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Calvin.
All right, we're going to head off to our west now. On a dry day, it wouldn't bother me at all without rushing water on this bridge, but obviously if it opened up for us and we fell through, we'd be part of the current in a real hurry. So we're going to move on. We've headed west a little bit to the Tappan Road, and as you see, water is overflowing the banks here. We're going to make our way out onto the road. This bridge was reconstructed by Clinton County about 2 years ago, I believe. So I have a little more faith walking on this one. Here's what it looks like looking east on the Tappan Road. We're going to look both ways and across and point our camera in a westerly direction. You can see the color of the water is chocolate bar color. Lots of soil being disrupted, and we see it coming out of the wooded area up there. My guess is that is not a normal part of the flow of the river. So it's flowing around, coming out of there, coming out through the trees here everywhere. A lot of topsoil is being washed downstream. So again, this is the Tappan Road shortly after 9 a.m. on this July 2nd. We're going to keep heading west. If you've ever been to the Moores Camp meeting grounds, you're familiar with this prayer and song area here. Let's give you an idea of what the water looks like on this Sunday morning. Definitely encroaching on the shoreline, and lofty waves out in the center of the Great Chazy River. And more debris gets washed downstream. This here is caught in a little circle here, and will eventually make its way out. Water coming through again, areas where water doesn't normally flow. You can see it through the trees over that way. So once again, we're going to continue west. Okay, we're almost ready to leave, and looks like some flowing here. Right here we see water has flowed downstream here overnight. What's your name, young man?
I'm Trevor Finley. I'm a member here at Moores Camp, one of the trustees, and we were just we live in Ellenburg, and we were driving to church this morning at Moores Wesleyan and decided to drive through to see if there was any damage. And to our great surprise, the river is going pretty wild this morning. So
I'm not going to make you late for your service here, am I?
no, we'll be okay.
I'll give you a note for John so you can...
Appreciate that.
Of course, you're on your way to becoming a preacher yourself, aren't you?
Yes, yep. Actually, if all goes according to plan, I'll be ordained in June, and then potentially, one day hopefully taking over at Moore's, and we'll see how that goes. But it's all up to the people.
Following in your father's footsteps.
Yep.
I first met your father after they had a barn building there back in your farm up there in Ellenburg.
Oh yes, back in '97 when we got hit by lightning and the barn burned down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you said you mowed the grass here yesterday. That was very thoughtful of you.
Actually, had the zero turn down by the river. There was enough land still there to mow, and it looks like when the water goes down a little bit, you can see it's actually cut the bank out pretty good. So probably going to lose more of our bank this year.
Yeah, but this water is definitely washing stuff. I was on the Tappan Road there, and the water is just brown. So it's picking up
a lot of erosion.
Yeah. So you said it was up high near your father's
yes,
camp?
as we work our way down the river, my parents have a cabin and A-frame at the end, and the water is splashing up over the bank, and if it crests anymore, it'll definitely flood out their cabin, so we're praying against that.
Okay, so I'm heading upstream. Hopefully it'll be lessening as we get up there, and this is the worst of it here, but there could be more to come in this direction.
Yep, I hope it is the worst of it. But
okay, I'll let you get to service here so you won't get in trouble.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're now in Moore's Forks on the Woods Falls Road, right near the intersection with Route 11. And over that way is really overgrown since 96 when we were here covering the flood of 96, and a lot of destruction in this area here. It was really a lot of the stuff on the Emery Road was washed away in that corner. Now Mother Nature has taken over, and another part of Mother Nature wants the shoreline back. So Mother Nature battling Mother Nature here. This is looking in an easterly direction. And this is what's coming from the west here on this Woods Falls Road near the intersection of Route 11. Again, we're not up by Woods Falls here. We'll be heading in that direction shortly. You never know who you might run into here when you're roaming around the streets. Might see an old Paris somewhere in the background there. But what's your name, young man?
Chris Gilmore.
And you're the town highway superintendent, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Are you superintending on this Sunday? Or your day off?
Unfortunately.
So where are you heading everywhere? Every direction, Chris?
Every direction. Some are getting better, some are getting worse.
And what you've heard is further west you go,
it's a lot worse.
Vicinity, it's
very much worse.
It's even worse. So
we're fortunate here so far.
Yeah, we won't mention any names, but you were telling me off camera you had to get a water rescue for a person up the road.
Yeah, on the McDonald Road.
Yeah, so the road's got water from both sides, and you can't go through there when water's knee high and you don't know what's underneath. If you got a road or
it's a lot safer with them guys in the boat and train. We were going to do it old school, and we changed our minds. So safety's always first.
Yeah, that's right. I think we've learned from the mistakes that we made, over the years. That so you're going to have a busy Sunday then. No holiday
Sunday,
for you.
Monday, Tuesday. It's going to be busy. The whole county is, at least the northern part of the county.
The northern part, yeah, here in
West.
In Franklin County, Eastern Franklin County is going to have
be a busy holiday.
Yeah, yeah, no holiday.
That's
here.
what we do.
All right, I'll let you get to work, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, Don Perez, what are you doing besides worrying about things?
Well, grateful that for one thing we don't have a lot of issues in our town yet.
Yeah.
But my fear is that whatever out west is heading this way.
Yes.
And so we're, Chris is prepared, for sure. So, but there's only so much you can do, and he's planning on trying to help other towns because being a holiday weekend that it is.
Yeah.
A lot of places, particularly the county, a lot of people are on vacation.
Right.
People are out of town.
They've already left.
Staffing shortages, and so
yeah. I met a fire truck when I came up this way. I don't know if they were done for the day or if they were just heading back for reinforcements or what, but they were heading toward north.
Well, they just came from up the road. There was a house along the river they were trying to remediate as best they could.
Yeah, I'm just looking back here of the Emery Road here, and that's really overgrown in the last 25 years. Because that was, you could see all the way up there when that part that trailer there.
Yeah, just hanging on a
half on the ground and half hanging over the water.
Oh yeah, it's a wonder that didn't go in. That was, and they actually filled in around it, and she lived in that. It's still there.
Is it still there? I'll have to go take a look and see if it's still there.
I think so. I saw actually, if you look further down, you could see some people standing on their lawn in the back. So I think they're okay.
Okay, good. All right, so it'll be a busy weekend for you too. Only thing I was worried about was raining on the parade in Rouse's Point tonight, but I guess we've got other problems right now.
Well, a little rain on your parade, not necessarily the worst.
Yeah, that's right. You compare it to this.
Yeah. So, but I hope it doesn't, dampen their festivities in any way.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Don.
Thanks, Calvin.
Yep. Well, we've made it to Woods Falls. And I have to admit we're not too surprised at what we're looking at here. The water is gushing through here at a great clip. I'm going to look both ways and cross the road. And this is what's heading toward Moore's Forks. And it's loud. That rushing water is loud. I'm on the Joe Wood Road now, and the river does not normally run this close to this road. I know in '96 there was flooding all through here. Homes on that side were washed away, so we're not at that point yet, but the water is rising. Able to keep flowing downstream, then they probably won't have an impact on the opposite side of the road. We're on the Minor Farm Road now in Altona, and this is the water that's rushing along the Joe Wood Road. Again, we're going to turn and check for traffic and look upstream toward the water coming from the Feinberg Park area. Obviously, we're not going to be able to catch every bridge, every little view like this. If we do, we'll never get to the west of here, but we are going to go up and take a look at what the rushing water looks like in the Feinberg Park area, but this is what it looks like here on the Minor Farm Road. This is the Feinberg Park area. You can see it's coming through quite rapidly under that dam. The big dam is no longer here. That's been gone for several years. It was washed out, and I think that was the year they had the tragic loss of life when this road here was actually washed out. A lot of trees, we probably won't be able to see much through here, but we'll at least take a quick peek since we're in the area. Now just a couple of quick shots by the McGregor powerhouse. They'd be producing some electricity today if this was still in operation. It's padlocked off, so we'll have to shoot through the fence here, but you can see where remnants of the slot troughs and whatever that they'd use to push the water through. And it's flowing quite briskly through there. Already quite a lot of wooden debris has been pushed ashore here. Since the water isn't cresting quite as high as it obviously was when that happened, we hope that's a good sign. And of course, what the future rainfall is what's going to help determine that factor. Throughout the good part of yesterday, there was all kinds of flood warnings issued by the National Weather Bureau. And we can see why. We've got a photographer down there taking some photos. So we're going to leave Feinberg Park and continue our trek to the west. Another area where we're not going to get out. No really good place to park here, so I'm just going to take a quick shot or two along Route 11. We're on Timber Lane. This road is closed. The water doesn't look very deep, but you don't know what kind of support you've got underneath. That water's been rushing through there for several hours, and you could have a washout underneath, and it looks relatively safe, but you could be putting your life in danger. So the highway department here in Moores has closed this road to traffic. Directly across Route 11 from the Timber Road is the McDonald Road, and this is a road that the Highway Superintendent Chris Gilmore told us they had closed off. You can see the amount of debris that's been washed onto the road, and you can also see what it looks like out here. And we got one vehicle that's making their way through, even though the road is closed. Have they got them out yet? Got them out? Okay. This is the road where they had their rescue. And they apparently have brought in that rescue team. And rescued the individual who was trapped in his home here on the McDonald Road in Moores. As you can see, lots of gushing water and all kinds of potential and not potential but active problems here. Okay, we're still on the McDonald Road, and we've got standing right next to us
Hi, Kim LaFountain.
And Kim, you've been in this area for
Oh,
several
all
years?
my life. All my life.
At least 25 years then.
Yes, at least 25. Calvin, you're too kind. You're too kind. Yeah, this is amazing to me. We could not get to my mom, and we made it up because we've got water rescue going on up the road. There's a log cabin that has a couple back there with some animals. So we have the Morrisonville and Saranac water rescue that's down in the back helping those folks. But as I was saying, this is like Little House on the Prairie for us. This is Little House on the McDonald Road, and you can see the water line, Calvin, where it's already receding back.
Yeah,
and
there's a couple of piles up there, yeah.
So now there's the bridge, the famous, we call it our famous bridge because it's been through every flood. You think back of the ice storm, and that bridge made it through that. This took out the second half, so now there's no, now there's no passage to the second part of the property.
So there was nobody driving over it with vehicles, maybe
No,
a bicycle or
no.
a wheel.
It was scary to even walk across it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I didn't like walking across it either.
Yeah, this is very sad. This is very sad. Amazing what the power of water can do. You have to respect it. But, yes.
So these folks here, are they in the area? Are they?
Nope, this house is,
Yeah, no, yeah, they're up to Decus's house.
Yeah.
They're out. They
Marion
were
and
here.
Mark.
They were here, but they've.
yeah,
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
vacated.
they left
Gone
about
Yeah.
9, 10 o'clock.
Yep, they
They
left.
left.
And then we've got the
They were
Morrisonville.
staying in the truck too. They weren't in the house. They
Yeah.
were in the truck.
And then we got water rescue down in the back to get Adam and his wife and his animals out because of where he is. He actually has this in the front yard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the
Water.
worst I've seen it.
Yeah, I was 96. It was pretty bad.
Yeah,
It was pretty bad in 96 too.
Got a car, truck coming here. Though.
yeah, this is.
They ain't
yeah.
slowing down.
Yeah. So,
Jim Barron is on the scene rescuing people.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Hi, Calvin.
How you doing, Jim?
Better than this, huh?
Yes.
So the second
Starting to
half of the
recede.
bridge,
It's gone?
yep.
It did wipe
They let-
out for the first time ever?
Yep,
Yeah.
they let go.
I don't think anybody will rebuild that. Just saying.
No, probably not.
Now, amazing how much this has receded back already.
It was
Even
going over the
since
top.
we've been down here, it's below that water line. The water line.
Yeah.
It's
Hopefully it'll
amazing.
continue to recede.
Amazing.
It's just amazing.
Never underestimate the power of water.
Stay the heck away from that.
We're not going to walk through it. We want to keep heading west here, but this is the Cannons Corners Road in Morris, and that's now blocked off, and water looks rather still, but it's sitting here, and I'm sure it's flowing somewhere. Just the water on the surface is still, and what's underneath is flowing through. So this is the Cannons Corners Road. I'm parked here about 150 feet from Route 11, so we're not very far up. We're on Route 11 and we're leaving Moores and entering the town of Altona, and as soon as we cross here, we are greeted by floodwaters in this yard here. We are approaching the Candlelight Road, but we can see all this floodwater coming through here. Lots of water coming through behind the Candlelight Road. We're now at the western end of the Candlelight Road, and we did see some campers out there by the river that were in situations where they're experiencing flooding, but we have to continue our trip west here, otherwise we'll be stopping every half hour, excuse me, half a mile, and spending half an hour. Wherever we go today, if people are old enough to remember in 1996, they refer to that flood of 96. And this is an area here that was certainly impacted by that. This home right here was inundated with water back in 96, but here we are in 2023. We're on the Canaan Road, which intersects with Route 11 and separates Altona and the town of Ellenburg, here in Ellenburg Depot. And this is the water rushing to our east, and we're going to once again venture across the road. McGregor Road is right there. That road was pretty much put in to accommodate traffic when this bridge here was washed out. And as you can see, that brown water is gushing through here. Not sure what is being washed over the edge there, and that's whether it's just white caps of sorts or what. This is what it looks like in Ellenburg Depot. 11 a.m. on July 2nd, 2023. Just a quick view out our window on the Cold Springs Road, which is stream here is running parallel to Route 11. We moved on to Ellenburg Corners, across from Northern Adirondack Central School, the former location of the Bears Grocery that was so well known for the flooding disasters they've had over the years. They had a fire a few years back and decided that Jeff Matthews decided that was his cue to move on and not keep that very, very, very popular store open, unfortunately. But location is everything, and it's a great location as far as serving the community, but a terrible location as far as floods. So it looks like that could be somebody's mailbox post there. They're missing a mailbox post that might be sitting here in Ellenburg Corners. I'm assuming that this debris was not here prior to overnight, so the water did get very high here. It was high enough to.
What you doing, Calvin?
How you doing, Steve? I heard there was a flood up here. Is that true, Steve Chilton?
Yeah, 4:30 this morning I got up. The water was way back up to here on my lawn. Over there, you could see if you go on the lawn, you can see a
debris that's washed up there.
Yeah, the stuff washed that stuff up on the sidewalk, some of it. So it was well over the footbridge. The footbridge was flooded over.
Yeah, I can see all the debris over there on the bridge here behind us.
Yeah, LeBear's house. It was right up above the foundation over there. You can see in the house.
Okay, yep. Looking at the yard right now, I thought maybe they were okay, but when I saw that debris, I said, "Uh-oh, it did reach flood stage there."
It reached my lawn. It went right over the road, and the edge was about where my apple tree is.
Wow.
So that's the second highest I've ever seen it, Kelvin.
Was 96 higher, or that other one that
the
5-inch one?
2010 when it
10?
rained.
Okay.
It came actually in 2010. If you look at this bridge, it came up to the second railing here on this state bridge.
Wow.
So, but because it was blocked on the footbridge, I think it caused backing up, and it flooded more over on the hotel side, because that's the worst it's ever gotten over there.
Okay, yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, we're over to Le Bears now. Matthew's cleaning the hotel up.
Okay, so you got flooded over there. So
it went up over 15 inches on the door there.
Holy cow!
So pretty much everything damaged inside.
Jeff closed the store so you get away from the flooding, and it followed him.
Yeah. Well, when the little history here, when the dam broke in the center, I don't know how many years ago it was, Calvin. You probably know. That went 13 feet above the store.
Wow.
Right, and that was only for an hour or two, but this ran pretty high for 5-6 hours. So
downstream I can see where debris has been washed across the road, but it's receded. So hopefully, unless we get another couple inches of rain, all of a sudden.
I did put a shot on Facebook today, a small segment, a movie of what it looked like at 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
But
I'll have to look for that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Cal.
So you've been up bright and early. You're milking cows at 5 o'clock.
We're helping the Matthews out right now. They got a mess.
All right, Steve Choten, a good neighbor. A good neighbor, the man to have on your side. So the debris and water was well over the top here in Ellenburg Corners. So it's a replay that they've seen far, far too many times. Okay, he's going to get out of his equipment here. We are at the Ranchside Campground here in Ellenburg Corners, and last time I was here, a guy was smoking too. His name was Sam Tremblay. He smoked a lot. I guess if you own this place, you smoke a lot.
It makes you do that. I don't know why. I know it's unhealthy and the whole thing, but that's just the way it works for some reason.
It was tough to get Sam to talk between puffs. So
I would imagine, yeah. Good seeing you again, Calvin. I haven't seen you in a while, and I know we've chatted here and there, but.
All right, Randy Poirier, and you've owned this since shortly after the passing of Sam Tremblay.
This will be the 7th summer.
7th summer already. Wow.
7th summer.
Time.
Yeah, it goes
time
fast.
Does go on. Yes.
It does. Yeah.
So this is probably your first real bad experience.
It is here in Ellenburg at Ranchside. That what you're seeing there now is fill that I brought in early this spring to elevate this area. Only because of the stories I've heard in the past that, it's a possibility and whatever. I did put in a new bridge, which really helped in this situation. So the damages are not even close to what it was. Speaking with the county this morning, they said it crossed the bridge over by the school, and it's the first time that's ever happened. So that tells me there's more water than previous years, and the devastation here, we lost nothing. We've had campers that had the water come right to the bottom of it, but the current was directed under the new bridge, and it didn't tear the ground up. What you see there on the left, or in front of you, is the sand that I drew in this spring to elevate these lots. However, not getting a chance to put topsoil and seed, the rain kind of washed it out. So we'll just redo that again.
So a lot of that brown water I'm seeing down there is some of your sand that you paid for.
That's correct. That's correct, Kelvin. Yes. Yeah. All the campers here, it's amazing the effort they put in. They've all said anything we can do, give me a shovel, give me a rake, and I want to, on camera, thank them for that. I'd really like to give them a shovel or rake, but it's all loader work and dump truck,
Yeah.
But
because if they weren't affected, they want to help their neighbors out.
That's exactly right, Kelvin. Yeah.
How many campers, little sites do you have?
I'm up to 200. I keep probably 10 or 15 vacant for transients, people traveling.
Right.
Matter of fact, this weekend, I think we've got 12 here just for the weekend.
Yeah, Canada Day and 4th of July weekend. So.
That's correct, yeah. So every year it seems to increase. I fail to advertise because I really don't feel comfortable enough to say we're ready. The place works and it's under development, it's under upgrade.
Still an ongoing procedure, and all that hard work you put in this spring is...
It's kind of washed up. It's pretty clean, that's for sure.
It's got to be very, very discouraging for you, but I've known you a long time, and you're a perseverer.
I have a hard time quitting, I guess. Hard-headed Frenchman, is that what they call it? Yeah. Yeah. And another thank I'd like to give is the DEC with the permitting that I had to go through for the bridge. They were very cooperative, and everything's working out well so far. It's not complete. We're still under a permit. I don't know what this flooding's going to change or do, but the bridge held well. It was right to the top of the bridge. Obviously, I vacated this area, opened the back gate so it had egress either direction,
Right.
and nobody passed the bridge. And I inspected it; nothing moved. So I'm pretty proud of that, Kelvin. You know, it's for a rookie, and
Yeah, you're not.
you know,
You're not building a lot of bridges, right?
I don't do it every day, but this one, you know, I nailed it. Yeah.
Or welded it.
Or welded it. There you go. Yes, that's right.
So
That's right.
I'm not sure if it was 09 or 10 that they had that 5 inches of rain here, and they actually had to have a water rescue of somebody.
Yes.
Camper was floating out in the river out there. And,
That's correct.
And so even though it got high here, you didn't have that kind of.
I didn't have that problem, and I think it's because of the bridge. When I expanded it to a 70-foot span, kept all the power and the force of the water into the river area.
Yeah, obviously not all of it, because it's going to be washed out.
That's right. A lot of that's the rainwater that sand obviously dissolves pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was talking with Steve Chilton, who's up at the corners there by the turnpike in the school. He said that about 4:30 or so is when it kind of hit the fan. He's been out there since 5 o'clock helping Jeff Matthews and so on.
Yes, that's correct. I was out here about 1:30 this morning. This area was not damaged at all, but the riverbanks were coming up. So I monitored it, and around 2:30, the elevation was coming up at a rate, and not being a weatherman, but I said, you know what, let's go on the safe side. So I started evacuation, and less than 45 minutes, this area was covered. So it came up very fast. So anybody listening out there, and they say, oh, the water's coming up, but it's going to stop. Don't predict that, because it's very unpredictable. Mother Nature has its own course, and you're not going to change it.
So what does evacuation mean? What happens here?
Well, what I did is I went through and made sure anybody on this street, because this is the only street in the park that the elevation hasn't been corrected yet, and went through, knocked on the door, said, hey, and some of them were up, they were aware of it, and said, you know, it's time to go. So we made sure that they got across the bridge to a high ground, and obviously opened the back gate so anybody could get in or out, or emergency services if necessary. We're very fortunate we didn't need it.
You got a clubhouse. Were they able to go in there for the night?
Yeah, that's what we did. Well, it was so early morning, a lot of people said, oh, it's no problem, they've stayed up. So, but I did. We went up to the diner, and in case anybody was hungry, we have restrooms in operation and the whole thing. And everybody was very, very well satisfied, yeah. We're very fortunate to have that ability. That's Jen smoking hot up here in the front.
Right.
Yeah.
She got a new location in Plattsburgh.
Yes, she does. Yeah, she's expanding. She's doing a great job. She's very busy. She does a lot of catering. So I'm glad for her, you know.
Yeah. Kept that little restaurant going for you there, and it didn't require you to find the people to run it.
That's right. Yeah, I just didn't have the time for that, and I would have, but Jen worked out great for that. And I wanted a campground with a diner on site. There's very few of them around.
Right.
So it's working out well.
The water is still flowing through pretty good, but a lot lower than it was.
Yeah, it's dropped, I'm guessing, about 5 feet. The beams of my bridge are 3, and it was at the top of that, and it's about 2 foot below it. So there's about 5 foot of elevation. It's dropped. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Rainey, you'd like to talk to us about? If not, I'll just wander around, get a few shots.
Absolutely, Kelvin. Nice seeing you again, and you know, you're welcome here anytime. You know that. And
preferably on a
on a better day would be nice. Sure. Yeah. It's going to be a long day for me, I'm sure. I've been, like I say, since 1:30 this morning. I've been at it, so that's par for the course. You know, it's very similar to farming, but I think this is a little tougher. The cows don't say anything, so this makes it a little trickier.
You've got hundreds of people to
yes,
keep happy here.
Yeah. We're pushing 200 sites. I've had the back part surveyed and stuff. So when I'm finished, there'll be approximately 550 sites at the completion date. Yeah, that's pretty large.
You're an ambitious young man.
Well, I don't know, ambitious or crazy. I'm not sure.
You're still young.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I'll be 28 there. You know, believe that or not, right?
28 again.
Yes, again.
All right. So if you think of anything else, give me a holler. But otherwise, I'll just take a few random shots here and show
Yep.
people and
Absolutely.
get out of your way because
Not a problem.
I'm holding you up here.
That's okay, Kelvin. You can hold me up anytime.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Randy. You can see rocks on the grass here. Obviously, they were moved by the rushing water. They didn't come out of the bottom of the river here, but they were probably in this area, and then they got moved by that rushing water. There's a large piece of plywood with some supports on it that they'll probably dig out once the water flow slows down. There's a sign that got washed up into the trees. This is an area where swinging apparently goes on, and so it's a tough situation here, but Rainey is a good person to follow in the footsteps of our friend, the late Sam Trombley, because Sam was a worker, and he just roll up his sleeves and get going again. And Rainey's that same kind of person. And incidentally, going through our videos today, 35 years ago today, in 1988, Sam Trombley was up at Olympic Stadium. He was chairman of the county legislature at that time, and he was up there representing Clinton County Day at Olympic Stadium back on July 2nd, 1988. As we drove in here, this fellow said he went through the last one, so he moved his camper. What's your name?
I'm still moving again.
Mike, what's Mike Parent?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you moved it to a safer location.
I thought I did.
And
this is my deck.
Your camper is back there on the other side of the truck, and your deck is up here.
Yeah. 100 feet away.
Obviously, that truck wasn't in between at the time, because.
No, I just put it there.
Oh. All right, and Rainey's backing up. Rainey's going to guarantee success in moving this back into place.
Yep.
So we'll catch that on camera here. As we see water flowing from up above. That road there, exit there, takes you up the direction of the military turnpike, or the area that runs into Ellenburg Center. This is looking east where the old dam used to be. Still some sort of a dam there, but it's a little bit lower than it used to be. And we're going to learn how to move a deck after it's been moved by Mother Nature. And it's got to be very discouraging for Rainey and his employees who work so hard to get this, trying to get it up to a higher level so you could avoid the flooding situation. To have this occur before the roots were able to take hold here and put some firmness, but even with that firmness, I'm sure some of this would have washed away. And with this kind of height, if it didn't wash away, it still would have been flooded. Well, the deck is lifted, and it'll be soon sitting in front of the camper where it originated. So we're going to move on and head for Ellenburg Corners. We're here at Ranchside Campground. Excuse me, we're heading for Ellenburg Center. We are in Ellenburg Corners. I drove up to Ellenburg Center, and things seemed quiet there. Their fire department was back in their station. Didn't see any or much indication of water damage anywhere. I didn't check with the fire department because it's already past noon here. I had other plans for this Sunday, and on the military turnpike heading in what would generally be considered a southerly direction. And starting to rain. I'm sure the people who are battling the elements already will not be happy to see this rain. There are dark clouds in the area. Already there's some ponding on this road and the rain just started. So, and while I was off, I did get a phone call from County Legislator Francis Perrier. I'm Area 1 legislator, he's Area 2 legislator, and he said that the Valley Road in my area is closed for flooding, so it's something I'll definitely have to look forward to. We're at the intersection with the Plank Road. We're going to take a right here and see what we can see. As soon as we turn the corner, we see logs and debris have been washed down. This road may have been closed at one time. It's not at this moment. At this end, I'll go up a mile or two, then turn around and head back, unless I find something worthy of recording. There's an area here where there are cones. Oh, wow. Big. I don't know if you can see it there from this angle here. Roadside's washed away. There's water rushing underneath here. Obviously at one point in time the water was over this bridge I just went over. There's cones here. This we'll see if we can turn around and get a view of what we're looking at here. Water is running along the ditch here. They have a garden planted, and I'm sure that was flooded earlier. We're going to turn and face down this way. Water running through the culvert. There's a farm here that's obviously trying to get access to for the milk truck to get through. I'm not sure if the milk truck would want to cross this area here. Forgive our bouncing, but they've got a large culvert on that there. We'll have water flowing down in that direction, water coming from this direction, water seeping through here, coming at them from all different fronts here on the Plank Road. This water obviously rushed over here, washed out. I'm going to be very careful here. I remember being on the Esker Road in '96 with Bob Ben, and we were standing on a piece of pavement overlooking Sam Fairchild's area across from where it was washed out, and we later found out we were standing on 5 inches of tarmac and nothing underneath. Everything else had been washed out. So although it may look like it's safe to step on, you don't know what's underneath. And in some cases, there ain't nothing underneath. So we've learned that. Fortunately, it wasn't the hard way. We learned it because of what we saw there. So water is coming. It obviously washed out the side of the road here. It's racing down there, coming through there, and coming from the other direction there. So it's coming at this area from every which way. So that's the story here on the Plank Road around 12:15 on this July 2nd. And as we get closer, turn around, we're heading back. It's washed out right there. A lot of the roadside here on the Plank Road has been washed out. Legislator Perrier did tell me that Clinton County Legislature Chairperson Mark Henry has declared a state of emergency for these areas. There's a big washout area back there. So it must have been very interesting in the middle of the night. Of course, that's when a lot of these things happen, in the middle of the night. I know it rained at my place and the thunder was booming, boom, boom. But it was doing a lot worse here. We've moved on to the Forest Road, and it's settled a little bit here, obviously, but if we can get a view of the other side of those cones, that road is washed out. It is washed out. Looks like they brought in some gravel to help support it. That is washed out. And this is an area that has puzzled us. This is an elevated area. And in the flood of 1996, the water just ran through here. And it looks like they had a similar but smaller situation this year. Look at this here in front of the Jarvis farmhouse here. Washed out. This happened in 1996. A high elevation like this. And the water just comes through here and washes away the roadside. And then we'll get the debris out in that field. All kinds of gravel and large rocks. And that flood from 96 went all the way through down here, and it looks like it's been similar. It just didn't last as long, so the devastation won't be as long lasting, but still, again, roadside just washed away. Just washed away here. On the Forest Road. Up ahead is Route 11, and this road continues as the Green Haven Road, or Green Valley Road. Green Valley. We're back now in Moore's Forks, and this is the river that crosses Route 11, the Great Chazy River, the bridge area, and it's continuing to flow at a steady clip. Now in Perry's Mills in the town of Champlain, and water seems to be flowing briskly through here. This is the view of the water heading toward the village of Champlain. The Lawrence Paquette Bridge on the Webb Dubois Road is closed due to problems with the structure. This is the water flowing through, and we cross over to the side closer to the village. It's flowing steady and brown. As I told Randy Poyer, some of his sand is probably washing all the way into the lake. We've moved now to the Elm Street Bridge next to the Samuel D. Champlain History Center. dark brown, steady flow. And now we've gone to the River Street side, between River Street and Main Street. We checked the water flow in Coopersville and it's just fine there. So Champlain area doesn't seem to be impacted at this point in time. This is Corbeau Creek. This is flooded once or twice, but it's good steady flow here on the McDonald Road. So we're going to wrap up. I looked down the Little Valley Road for any signs that might say closed, and I didn't see anything there. So we're going to wrap up this look at the flood of July 2nd, 2023. And we're going to close out here on Corbeau Creek on the McDonald Road in Champlain. Several times you hear us referring to the flood of '96, but also the flood, I wasn't sure if it was 2011 or 2010 or 2009. It was actually this rescue footage here from Ranchside Campground was from August 4th, 2010. So you can find that on our Hometown Cable website. August 4th, 2010 Ellenburg flood rescue video, it's called. I want to thank Steve Hansen for sending along some photos of the flooding in Moors. And we'll close out with some video that Steve Chilton sent of the early morning hours in Ellenburg Corners. And this will close out our video of the flood of July 2nd, 2023. And there's LeBare's, former LeBare's store location right there. Everything flooded from Steve Chilton's house right across the road. And we did find out after we put this story to bed, so to speak, that there was a road closure up on the La Valley Road after all, up near the Angelville Road by the Gagnon Farms. That flooded area flooded badly in '96 and looks like more of the same here in 2023.